You know who this bros with mics.
Get away. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know who it is, man. All right. Bros with Mike.
Bros
You
with
heard
Mics.
it, man. What up? I'm Tom.
I'm Cody. What's happening?
Boy, back like I forgot something. Why? Because I'm something, man. It's a
Week
great weekend, man.
7 recap. If y'all hadn't seen, we did a whole live stream on Tennessee versus A&M, so y'all make sure y'all go check that out.
Check it out. I don't know what's up with it, man. We had a great slate of games this weekend, really. Some
Yes, beautiful games. Some beautiful games.
But
The
you
first
know
one,
what's up first, though. Let's get in them predictions that we made. Let's see what this record talking about right here, man.
Yeah. So prediction has it right now. Tom is 9-6. I'm 11-4 before this week.
Yeah.
So Tom, you lose.
I think I lost like 2 at least.
Yeah. So we both got Tennessee right.
Yeah. We already knew we was going that one. Okay.
But we both got Oregon wrong.
I said home, and I kept saying that. I don't know why I went against what I said. I said home field advantage. It's a tough place to play in. Home field advantage, and I still went with Oregon.
Yeah, but I mean, Oregon shot themselves in the foot. They had that game won. Very, very much so. Then you get Kentucky wrong. I told you.
Missouri.
I told you.
Missouri.
And
Okay.
then we both got UNC right. And then I picked Oregon State.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't get your pick, so I'm just gonna scratch that out.
Who was it against?
It was Oregon State and
Kansas. Yeah, I definitely.
No, not Kansas. Oregon
Did they
State
not play
and
Kansas?
UCLA.
Okay. I'm looking at Oklahoma State. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Oregon State versus UCLA. I don't know what I would have picked in that. I might have picked Oregon State just because I still don't have faith in UCLA, but
yeah,
it is what it is.
So out of the 4 games, I went 3-1. You went 2-2. So that will make you 11-6, and that will make me 14-5.
Okay. I got some coming back to do. Just a little bit. But we got time to make it up. We got time.
Oh wait, hold on.
Uh-oh.
My bad. My calculations is wrong, my boy. So 2-2, that will make you 11-8.
Mm-hmm.
And then because you was 9-6, and that will make me 14-5.
Okay. Yeah, I got a little coming back to do, but it's all right.
A little bit.
I'll be back like I forgot something because I'm something, man. But let's get into this weekend slate of games. We got the big review of the Tennessee game. We broke it down. Nothing major has changed other than I didn't make the point. What was going through Josh Heupel's mind at the end of the game right there. We got the interception, got down to like the 7-8 yard line, ran it, and then decided to throw the ball on 3rd downs, and then gave them a timeout because Joe Milton wasn't going to complete that pass on the run. Like, I'm confused what his train of thought was right there, and we gave them a timeout. Back in doing so, we kick the field goal, we go up 20-13. So I'm just kind of confused what Josh Heupel was thinking in that moment. Like, why pass the ball when we just ran it? And he already threw the interception. I understand you don't have confidence in your quarterback, but at some point in time, logic has to break through right there. Like, let's just go ahead and run. Make them burn timeout. Defense has been standing on the head. I think they'll continue to do so, which they did continue to do so. But we should have just ran it to even make it a little bit tougher for them, not giving them that extra timeout. So, but I digress. Tennessee won 20-13. We knew it was going to happen. It happened. And, it's a good weekend with that. Up next, we got Vandy and UGA, 37-20. Vandy gave them a hell of a fight with that one. What's your thoughts on that, man?
So the big question mark for Georgia now is how does the offense progress through the season without Brock Bowers?
Bowers, man.
Probably won't see him. It's tricky. NIL is making a lot of players stay for their last year because you're more likely a lot of these players will make more money in college than they will in the NFL. So, does he come back this season? I don't know if he's a senior or not. I think he's a junior, ain't he?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. So, he could potentially come back this next year if the money's right. And compete for a championship instead of just going to whoever.
Yeah, it's a
So
possibility. Yeah.
so that possibility makes this possibility about him returning this year questionable, just because I mean he's out 4 to 6 weeks with a ankle surgery. I think it was a high ankle sprain, was it not?
Yeah, high ankle sprain. About the same thing we had with Cedric Tillman in Tennessee. We saw how that did with him and kept him out for a while. They said 4 to 6 weeks, but you don't come back all the way with that some of the time. Like if you don't give it time to heal, high ankle sprains are worse than a break because it messes up all your ligaments in there, and those heal a lot slower than a bone would. So, I mean, I wish him a speedy recovery, but we said it, and I said it time and time again on here. What does Georgia do without Brock Bowers?
You wish for it.
I didn't wish it.
Yes,
Don't
you
put that.
did, bro.
I
You
didn't wish
wish
for that.
for it.
I didn't wish for it. I might have spoken into existence, but I didn't wish for it. I never wished for an injury, a career-ending injury for a player, right? Now, if he
Not
wake up with a
career.
stomach bug, the game of the Tennessee game, I'd pray for that. Like, please give him a stomach bug, but I want him to come back at the end of the day.
You want to play the best team possible because you get that
Georgia
win.
is still considered the best team possible. A dub is a dub. Like you said, when I say Alabama's more impactful for us, you said, well, Georgia's more impactful. So they're still number one. That's all they're going to see at the end of the day. The number one team.
No,
They
they
didn't
factor
say,
in. They factor in the committee and the AP poll people factor in what team did you play. If you're without your best player, and Brock Bowers is their most valuable player on the offense, clearly.
clearly.
So if you're without your MVP, why would they say, okay, no, they beat the best possible team?
So if that's the case, Georgia shouldn't be number one. Then they should have removed them. When they found out Brock Bowers went down with this ankle injury yesterday, he's out for this ankle. Georgia shouldn't be number one. If that's the case, the committee says, "Oh, Georgia's lost their best player. Let's move them back to number three, where they probably should be." If
Wow,
that's the case, because
nothing,
if you're
nothing
saying,
happened though.
but if you're saying they lost their best player and they're going to factor that in, that's a factor of, hey, they lost one player. If that one player is big enough impact, they should say, hey, this team might be scrapped now. This team
No,
might
I
not be
mean
as good as
you
we thought.
can't put a prediction up. You can't put a prediction up and say, now they're blah blah. But what I'm saying is, like, if you go in and you beat Georgia now, they're gonna say, okay, they was without their best player. That's what they're gonna say. I'm just telling you, you can't go into a game and say this team beat the best version of this team because it don't work like that. At the end of the day, like it just don't. So if let's say this is playoff scenario and you go in and you say, all right, Tennessee beats Georgia without Brock Bowers. Like that's good. Don't get me wrong, it's still good, but it's not great. It's not
It's the next man up. At that point in time, you just if we hinge this entire outcome based on one player, which it's possible because that's a great player for the team. He's very detrimental in a lot of their wins, right? But if we hinge the success of the entire team off of one player, then this team isn't really number one caliber. Like if the success of your team depends on only one person, how's this a number one overall team?
I mean, they're struggling with them. So what you think they're gonna do without them?
Without him. I mean,
I
only
mean,
time can tell. There's a lot of games left where they got to
and
see
that's
us.
an opinion. That's an opinion. But
Yeah.
if it's like Oklahoma, if we would have played Texas without Quinn Ewers, we wouldn't have moved up like we moved up. And I don't like the decision that they made to move us back because 8 and 7 played and we beat a 3. That makes no sense to me. Another day for a conversation with that topic. But it's just like when you lose that best player, it's not saying, okay, all right, now we got to move back because they ain't nothing now. We don't know that.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, they give Georgia all these, or they will give these teams all this credit because of certain people. So when those certain people don't play, it's going to be like, okay, you beat them without this. You just know it works like that. It just works like that because
that's just how they're going to do. That's how they do.
That's just
But
how they do
I
it.
think, honestly, this close game against Vandy, allowing Vandy to score 20 on you and keep it relatively close for a little bit. They had a little bit of a low period, but Vandy played their hearts out. All right, a couple of mistakes, put them in like two or three possessions changed the outcome of this game for Vandy. All right, they don't throw that interception right there. They do a few different things different. Vandy might have this a lot closer. And the 37-20 isn't indicative of how close it was. It really was about 30-20. Georgia scored at the end right there to go like put some extra points up towards the end right there to make it seem like it's a lot bigger of an impact than it was. But Vandy played their heart out with this one. Not to lull on it too much, but we'll get into the some guesstimates of what we think is going on with this weekend slate of games. I think Georgia has a bye week anyway, so they got time to go get healthy.
Yeah. So
Up
next,
next.
I got Oregon Washington. Great game.
Ooh, great
Great
game.
game.
Great
Great,
game,
great
yeah.
game. I think Oregon choked that though. I honestly think Oregon was down 11 points, came back, took the lead quickly, very quickly, within a couple minutes. And at the end there, call it what you want. I think the decision to go for it on fourth down was iffy.
Yeah.
But now that I see how it played out, it kind of makes sense, but it also don't make sense. And the reason why I say it kind of makes sense, so we go for it on fourth down on the 50, around the 50, right? And plus territory, but that was on like the 46 or something. Okay,
Yeah.
you go for it. They go down and score. We get the ball back. It's like, do we trust our defense or do we just want to have the ball last? It's kind of like, okay, we think whoever wins this game is going to have the ball last, but I don't like that decision right there. I say punt it, play defense, right?
Yeah, I mean, but they did good on that last drive. Bo Nix was played a great game this game, I feel, and they drove down to put them in a position. I lost you for them back. Put you in a position to win it right there, and it comes down to a person who has one job for the team. You got one thing to do.
You don't want to be that guy. I would never.
I would never. I mean, I was a kicker briefly there, and so I was like, "Yeah, I'm tearing my legs up. All this kicking, I wasn't stretching enough." I said, "Yeah, no, I'm not built for kicking." And there's too much hinges on it. Everybody hates you once you miss that kick. Everybody hates you, bro.
Yeah,
like, dude,
death
man.
threats, all kind of stuff.
I mean, y'all don't say this when people drop passes. Yeah, when the quarterback didn't complete his pass, I missed one kick. But they're like, "Hey, you have one thing
like,
to do
that's
all
all
game.
you do.
That's all you do is make kicks."
Which I get it. I get it. Don't get me wrong, but the pressure bust pipes, and that is very, very detrimental to the team to go out there and make kicks. Not only field goals is already pretty tough, but just from them backing it up. But when we're like, hey, we need this game tie-in field goal, or we need to go up right here on the field goal,
and it's at 43 yards. You got to hit those. You got to hit those, man. Because he had the
easier
leg
said
hold.
than done.
It's just accuracy. Oh yeah, it's easier said. As we see with McAfee, he does the kicks before the game for everybody. And how many people actually missed it? Really, the guy this weekend missed it also, but they gave him a redo. It was up to like 60K. You can win. He missed it, but they gave him a redo. So it's been almost 7 weeks of football, and nobody made that kick. All right. Kicking ain't easy if you don't do it all the time. But if you do it every day, all day, this is your job. Come on, man. That's like telling a sniper. That's all you do is snipe, and you don't hit the shot in the biggest moment.
I mean, so this is how I look at it. Oregon played great. Washington played great. Coaching decisions. I get Dan Lanning is very aggressive-minded coach. So let's say Oregon wins this game. And then but this is the thing. Heisman. So you got two Heisman contenders right here playing against each other. Bo Nix, Michael Penix Jr. Okay. The thing is, both quarterbacks play a good game. They play good. So, but this is how I look at it. Michael Penix Jr.'s stock rose whether or not they won that game because of how well he performed. He still performed well.
Yeah.
Oregon goes
4
for it on
touchdowns,
fourth down.
300 yards.
Exactly. Oregon goes for it on fourth down. 2 plays, touchdown. Take the lead back. Okay, so Caleb Williams. We'll get more into the game, but as far as Heisman, you play a good defense. This is the first pretty decent defense that you played all year long in Notre Dame. So 3 picks first half. Didn't pass for 200 yards, 1 touchdown. Heisman stock fell. Michael Penix Jr. rose drastically, in my opinion. I've seen people saying, did he lose the Heisman? Caleb Williams? I would probably think so. It's still a lot of games.
Yeah, just because it proves the fact that everybody was saying, like, you were scoring and you were getting these stats against teams that weren't great. When you ran into a solid defense, you couldn't have your Heisman moment, right? That's what people want to see. People want to see is your Heisman moment, especially against in a big game like that. I wonder. I mean, to find the statistics. How many Heisman Heisman winners have came from losing teams, like somebody who was losing and like, hey, yeah, you had a hell of a game, but your team was trash. Like, how often do you see that? I think maybe once you saw it from like a 2-18 back in the 50s.
I mean,
You usually don't see it. Like, you gotta keep winning, and you gotta have these big moments. You gotta win it, and this is probably the biggest moment of the season, arguably. I mean, we
to
get to
this
the end of
point,
it. Yeah,
it definitely was to this point. But I mean, a lot of Heisman winners don't win the whole thing.
I mean, not win it all, but still, you gotta win a record. You still gotta do something. You
Yeah, I mean,
maybe even go get a conference championship. Now they're not even probably gonna win a conference championship. To be honest with you,
I
after
mean, I
seeing
don't.
how they acted
Yeah,
against that defense,
yeah, I
but
don't think so. They probably drop. Do they? What is their schedule actually? So I mean, going into
I mean, they're about to
your
play a bunch of other people without good defense, also. So
yeah, so but I mean, they got Utah this week. Pretty solid defense.
yeah.
Pretty solid defense.
Yeah,
So I mean,
they got what, Utah, then Cal, Washington, Oregon, UCLA. It's a tough stretch.
yeah.
That's when you put your nose to the grindstone, test your metal, so to speak, right then.
Cam Rising, I don't know, bro. They've been saying he coming back, but
He's the same thing. He tore all those ligaments in that last game of the season. So he didn't just stretch him and pull him like Brock. He tore multiple ligaments. So
yeah, I don't know if he comes back for this game. I would think he does, but I don't know. I think he does come back for this game. I'm gonna call it now. I think Cam Rising's coming back for this game against USC.
okay.
Lost twice against USC. I mean, Utah last year. USC did. So I mean, good defense. Utah has a good defense. They
Yeah.
still have a chip on their shoulder. So we got Utah coming up next for them.
Okay.
USC's thing is it's identical to the Oklahoma era with Lincoln Riley. Great, perfect, almost perfect offense.
Mhm.
Defense, nothing. Nothing at all. And I mean, it's like identical to the OU era of them winning, but now you have multiple teams with defense. Like it's a lot of good defenses out here nowadays. So if you look at USC stretch, you said Utah, California, not worried about it. Washington, Oregon, UCLA. They don't take their bye week until the end of the season.
Which is dumb.
I don't know why they did that.
That's one of those, you feel you're gonna win out, so you won't get rest for the postseason play.
I would definitely probably take my bye week
After this game, after that
after
Notre Dame,
this game or Utah.
Yeah.
Like I would definitely have took my bye week, but that's how Lincoln Riley wanted it. I don't know why. We did that one year and we did not do good. So Notre Dame came and showed what was up. Notre Dame played well. Sam Hartman dotting USC's defense up, which everybody seems to be doing that. This
48-20, he shredded them.
Yeah,
and they also ran it. Like, they ran it down the throats, Pauls. Back to back right there. I mean, they did what they were supposed to do against these guys.
Yeah, and this is the third week they gave up 40 points straight.
Yeah.
So they gave up 28 to San Jose State first week.
How much they give it to Colorado?
41.
41. See, yeah.
41 to Colorado, 41 to Arizona, and then 48 to Notre Dame.
This wasn't a quality team. I mean, they're okay. I figured they'd get exposed. USC.
Oh, I just said Notre Dame.
No, USC. I figured they were going to get exposed eventually. The moment they stepped out of conference play, like we see with Notre Dame, we see with all these teams. I said that they look great during the regular season, and then they get out and they go against a team with good defenses, and this is what happens. Good thing USC got exposed early instead of taking somebody else's spot in the playoffs who deserved to be there, because they'd have got there and they've been like when they played Bama. Then they scored like 3 points that game or something crazy like that. A few years back, USC versus Alabama.
USC, yeah, that was crazy.
And that's the same thing that would happen to them in postseason this year. So I'm glad they got exposed early. We get them out of here, man.
Yeah, they might drop 4 games this season. I think 3 possibly for sure.
Yeah,
but they might drop 4. But anyway, on to Alabama, Arkansas.
Arkansas played a hell of a game. We knew they would. They got nothing to lose. I said the games Alabama got to worry about was this Arkansas game, the Auburn game, because these teams, they know they're not poised to make the SEC West, so they're going to play you their hardest, right? And they did. Had this game going a few different ways, a few different possessions in the opposite direction, Arkansas should have came out with this one, right? They made that comeback late. Alabama let their foot off the gas, and Arkansas played them hard right there, man. They had 7. Alabama didn't score. They scored a field goal in the third. They nothing in the fourth. Arkansas was like, cool, we'll take that advantage. We'll take that time and make something shake with it.
Arkansas always plays. Yeah, I mean Arkansas always plays Bama pretty tough.
Yeah.
But like I said, when you have that target on your head, a lot of people is coming at you. They're circling that calendar date, and they're gonna play you like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So let's say, let's take away the good for Bama. They hold KJ Jefferson to 150 yards passing.
Mm-hmm.
They played decent defense. I mean, not bad. I mean, KJ Jefferson's a pretty good player for Arkansas.
Yeah.
Um, Jalen Monroe, still some inconsistencies over there.
10.
But
He's throwing 50% right there. A little over
yeah,
50%. 238, 2 touchdowns. No
yes,
interceptions.
no picks, which is great. You don't want to have picks.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if you just how can I say? I want to say like botched coverage by
Mm-hmm.
Arkansas, or at least one of them that I've seen. But overall, I mean, Bama did what they're supposed to do. Bama's very, very beatable. Very
Yeah.
beatable. I'm not fond of Bama. I don't know why. Josh Josh keeps putting them in the top 10. I don't think they're a top 10 team.
But they love them there. They don't want Bama to leave. ESPN, the AP, all of them, they really want Alabama to stay with that. They want them to have an opportunity to get back into the playoff conversation, right?
Yeah,
They
yeah.
need them. Like, man, Alabama wins out. Let's see the scenario. Alabama wins out. They go to the SEC championship. All right, do they win it? Okay, they might win it. They might lose it. We'll find a way to get them in it when there's a lot more quality teams who are unbeaten. Hell, even Air Force Academy is unbeaten right now, and they're barely in the conversation. They just got ranked, which is great. Hey, go Air Force! I love to see it, man. But yeah, I'm tired of hearing Alabama, and this weekend when the Tide face the Vols, we'll see what Alabama's really about right there. Actually, we're going to see what both teams are about, and this is a make or break moment for both teams.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, 21-24 Alabama over Auburn. I mean, Arkansas, we knew they're going to lose. I'm glad they kept it close.
So next I got North Carolina, Miami.
Yeah, great game.
Great game. But I honestly didn't watch this game, so I'm not going to critique it too much. For me, I don't know if you did.
No, I didn't. It was I think it's around about the same time as my game was on, so there was no reason for me to click over. I was just watching the box score to see if I was going to make any money off of it. But the number 12 team, I don't think they were number 12 at the moment. Either way, go. North Carolina was ranked lower. Miami's ranked higher. We knew North Carolina's defense is going to be a big factor for them getting this win right here, being able to make some stops when they needed to. It was a close game at first. Miami was actually leading going into halftime, and then North Carolina's defense just put their foot on the neck right there in the third and just allowed them to get the ball
21
back. Team
points.
scored, getting the ball back multiple times to get their team up and let them hold on to that lead and kind of coast in right there with only another 6 points in the 42 kicks.
I love to see it. Mario Cristobal,
love it.
not fond of him. It's teams that I really don't like, and Texas A&M is one, and Miami is another team.
We figured they weren't going to bounce back. I figured at least. I said after that embarrassing loss against Georgia Tech, I don't know if this team bounces back. One, because they're out of the ACC conversation for the championship. That's an embarrassing loss to lose and to come back and think you're just going to be elite again. No, I think that took a toll on them. They should have took a bye week. They were perfect to have a bye week in between that. If they could have, should have, would have. But no, they're out of the conversation now. But that's going to make them deadly for some other people down the road that they got to see, right?
Yeah.
That's a team who has nothing to lose.
North Carolina has to play Florida State, and I said North Carolina's been playing really good. Defense has been stepping up in the right moments. Still gave up those 31 points, but I like what I'm seeing for North Carolina so far. If I had to guess right now, I'd probably say they don't beat Florida State, but I think it can be a close game and a good game.
I think it could be a good game. They're both 6-6. They don't see each other for a while, if I'm not mistaken. It's just a matter of the ACC being the ACC. Like, what are you guys going to do? I feel like the ACC is kind of slow rolling everybody right now, trying to stay as quiet as possible, stay out of the limelight a little bit. I mean, you got Florida State. We can't not put them up there, but I feel like you're not hearing a lot of chirping, a lot of stuff coming out of the ACC as you are for some of these other conferences where they're in there. I think they're kind of just poisoning the well slowly making their way. And hey, we don't want to be on the pedestal. We just want to keep getting by. And I feel like that's what the ACC's got going on right now for them.
Yeah, for sure. Now, I got Louisville losing. Undefeated season is gone. Bye-bye, Louisville.
Yeah.
You hate to see it. I was kind of root for Louisville. I'm not gonna lie.
I
Just
was too. After that, their win, I thought
against Notre
Louisville was
Dame.
going to
Yeah,
make something shake, man. I thought they were going to finally be the team in Kentucky. Thought they're going to be those guys, but Pitt gave them the business. I feel like it's always a good game though. Pitt is no slouch. That's what you got to
Pitt
worry about with them.
2
Though
and
their
4 on
record is
the
not
season.
indicative. You said what?
2 and 4 of the season.
Yeah, for the season, but I'm just talking about in general. Like you got to watch them. They lost who's he's a quarterback for the Steelers, and I can't recall his name.
Kenny
Lost
Pickett.
him like 2 years back, and they've kind of they died down a little bit, but they give you some fight, and that's one of the teams you got to watch out for. About like how West Virginia is sometimes, where you just got to watch out for them. It's like, hey man, what are y'all gonna do, man? When you sneaking around like that, and they proved it, slow and steady. 7 in the first, 7 in the second, popped off, and it's just Louisville forgot how to play offense in the third and fourth quarter. They did not come out prepped to take the second half of that game, and 0-0, and it indicated with a loss right there. So, sorry,
Yeah,
Louisville, you had your shot. You missed it. I don't think Louisville makes the ACC championship. That was their opportunity right there. Might end up with a good New
yeah,
Year's Bowl if they went out, though.
yeah. So next I got Kentucky. Kentucky and Mizzou. I told you Mizzou is not
They're
bad,
no
bro.
slouch, man. I mean, Kentucky.
Tried to tell you.
I tried to, and I knew. I said the same thing. I said Kentucky looks good the first 5 games, and then they just start losing. And I should
You
have stuck to
said
my guns.
Mizzou
I should have
was
stuck to my guns,
trash
man.
and Kentucky would win. You was heavy on Kentucky this last week.
I was. I mean, but look at the game. It was 21-20 right there in the third quarter. I thought that Kentucky could hold on, but Mizzou in the fourth quarter was just a different animal, man.
I mean, their defense only gave up after the first quarter. They only gave up 7 points after the first quarter. So
I thought they could hold on. I thought they could, man.
So when you score 17 second quarter, 18 fourth quarter, third quarter they kind of took that off. But I mean, they won 2 quarters greatly. You know what I mean? And only lost 1 quarter by 4 points. So I mean, when you do things like that, and when you got a defense that holds up and the offense is playing pretty solid, you make things happen. I
mean,
told you,
Devin Leary ain't him. I kind of knew that Devin Leary was bad. He's not a good quarterback by any means. And you know who I will get some respect to, and I'm going to say it later. I ain't going to do it right now because we got to get to that game in a second. But there's a few quarterbacks who I've been kind of trashing, and I trashed heavy at the very beginning. I'm looking at now like it's not a bad quarterback per se. Now I'm looking, but we'll get to that game next right here. But Devin Leary, he's not one of those good quarterbacks. I mean, Ray Davis, who I thought was going to take over the game, he did what I thought he was going to do. Still 20 carries for 128 yards. He was still toting it. He still did good. And I thought that would be enough to get them to the victory at that point in time. But they couldn't make some shake with the passing game right there with 2 interceptions, 2 touchdowns. Like, you can't come out and have a game like that and expect to win, Devin Leary. You can't. But like I said, it was time for basketball season, and the moment basketball season opened up, we noticed how the records started going down from there. They played their first game of basketball, football starts losing. It's like, dude, you got to put your energy somewhere. They're like, we're not putting it into football anymore. So,
all right, that's what you think. And then they come to town and put it on y'all.
I'm not worried. But Kentucky, I'm just looking historically, man. These are teams that don't beat us. Like teams we don't lose against. South Carolina, we don't lose against them. Last year was a fluke. Sometimes we get fluky games. Vandy beat us a few years back, fluky games. So South Carolina, Kentucky, Vandy, these are teams that we just have their number usually. Like how Florida has ours, we just have their number. And that's why I'm not too concerned about Kentucky. And I ain't gonna say not too concerned about Missouri, but we'll see about that one, man. I think A&M is a better team than Missouri, but we'll see.
No,
I don't know. I gotta watch the Missouri games because I don't know. They should be LSU. They should still be undefeated, but I digress, man. I digress.
Definitely should still be undefeated.
Yeah, it's a good one. But they got the win, 38-21 right there. Missouri is the second best team in the East right now with that win. That puts Georgia, Missouri. I think they put us ahead of Florida. Honestly, us then Florida in the East. Nope, they put us. Nope, it's Georgia, Florida, Missouri, Tennessee in the East. That's crappy, but it is what it is. Florida having 2 losses. It is whatever. But yeah, speaking of Florida, that's the game I want to talk about next with this one, man. I've been trashing Graham Mertz, but honestly, he's a very consistent quarterback. He's not awful. When you really look at it, like he he produces some of these games, man. We're looking at him versus South Carolina. They would have a job back in the end right there. Him and Pearsall, he's a stud. If he's on another team, it'd be a different beast. He didn't just play for Florida. That'd be a different beast, man. He looks good out there. Graham Mertz is consistently throwing 70 to 80% every single game. Consistently doing this. And if you can do that week in and week out, we got to put him in that conversation of like, but well, let me not get too far ahead of myself by saying that. It goes back to what I said about Caleb Williams. They're not going to put somebody in the Heisman who's not winning games. I think like you lose a couple games, you're out of that race. But statistically, he's better than Jaden Daniels for LSU. If you look at the stats for the year, he gets the job done, man.
So what is his stats on the year?
It's a good lie because they only show top 25, so they don't like to break it down. But you look at him on the year.
Georgia this week.
Yeah,
and right now he's passing.
That's gonna be huge right there. Brock Bowers out. Florida defense is inconsistent, but they could be decent enough to get it done.
Almost a little shy of 1,900 yards on season, 12 touchdowns. Nah, he's not Heisman worthy.
But look at that. I mean, it's the interception they get him, but throwing 76% completion rate, that's not bad.
It ain't the interceptions. It's just the fact of, so you got a little shy of 1,900 yards, 12 touchdowns, 2 picks. Not horrible. 2 picks on a year is pretty good, actually. But
then you say something about Jaden Daniels, whose stats are the same. They think, he could be Heisman caliber. Graham Mertz statistically,
their stats are not the same. Jaden Daniels
statistically they're close.
A little shy of 2,300 yards, 22 touchdowns. He has 10 more touchdowns than his cat, and almost what I say? He was a little shy of 19.
19, yeah.
Almost 400 yards. Actually, yeah,
400 yards,
396 more yards than him.
I mean, but I'm just saying, statistically, like this guy's not a bad quarterback. He's very middle of the road, but I'm just saying, I trashed him so much at the very beginning. Like, dude, this dude's just buns. I should have looked at Devin Leary like that. He's not a bad quarterback. On a better team with a few more weapons around him, Graham Mertz might come out to be something decent somewhere else. Well, no, he can't leave again. This is the second team.
Pearsall, who is snapping for Florida.
But that's one great guy. I mean, you got one solid. Pearsall is his main target. 619 yards, 3 tutties. Like, that's his main target. But everybody else is just there.
He's a little shy of 19. Jaden Daniels has almost 400 yards on him. What is Joe Milton looking like?
Buns, McGee. That's what Joe's looking like. I'm not going to get him publicly trash my guy, but we got to figure out something with Joe. That's all we're going to say.
1,200 yards passing on the season.
But you got to look at Tennessee. We are a run-heavy team. We are a run-heavy team.
Jalen Monroe has almost 100 yards, over 100 yards on him, and they did have a bye week.
What's he at? 1,300?
Yeah, almost 14.
I mean, we had a bye week.
Y'all had a bye week, so yeah. I mean,
what's Monroe's stats looking like?
1,397.
How many completions versus attempts?
I'm sure they're great. Let's see. So 11 touchdowns. So Jalen Monroe only has 10 touchdowns on the season, and
so is Joe. 10 touchdowns.
Joe has 10. Jalen Monroe has 11, and they both have 4 picks.
Mm-hmm.
Not ideal. Man, it made me wonder what Dylan Gabriel got.
Yeah, they're pretty close right there. We're looking, but I'm looking statistically on our run game. We have more rushing yards than we do passing yards, which is crazy. We got 1,388 on rushing yards, 1,275 on passing yards. That's a new Tennessee. We found a different way to skin the cat, and I don't mind it at all.
Dylan Gabriel ain't great either. So I mean, almost 1,900 on the season, 16 touchdowns, only 2 picks. I mean, that's not as great. Yeah. Like, it's good. Jaden Daniels, they just have to have shootouts because, I mean, they ain't playing no defense. And it feels so good to say that. It does. I'm not going to lie. It feels so good to say we have defense. It's crazy, actually.
Yeah, I'm saying with Tennessee, we have a pretty solid defense, man. But not to get too heavy into that because we're talking about the other stuff. We really get heavy into this AP poll, these updates for this past week. And, I mean, not the polls, the recaps from this weekend. Those are some of the major games. Any other ones that we might have missed that are like key difference makers this week? I don't really think so. I thought we scratched the surface on the most ones. I think the only other one that we might need to touch on a little bit was that Arizona taking down number 19 Washington State University 44-6. That was embarrassing. It truly was embarrassing, man, to be a ranked team. But Arizona kind of let them know last week with USC that they ain't no slouch. They easily could have beaten USC last week, and then turn around and beat Washington this week and could be ranked. It could be in a whole. We could be talking about them in a totally different light had they been able to close out that game last week against USC.
Yeah. Utah quarterback only has 490 yards passing on the season.
Yeah.
Is he not played every game?
No, I think they rotate two quarterbacks. They had the freshman they put in, they have the second guy they put in too. So they got two QBs that they like to bounce in between.
So, yeah, Arizona, it's not bad. I mean, you seen what they did with USC last week. Really should have won a game. But other than that, took down Washington State, almost took down USC.
Yeah.
Crazy. But the AP top 25 reaction. The first thing that stands out to me is my Sooners. I don't like them in at 6. I don't like Utah jumping Oklahoma because we have a bye week.
Yeah. You mean
Washington? What'd I say?
Utah.
Oh yeah, Washington jumping Oklahoma. But I mean, last week Oklahoma jumped Penn State. They had a bye week.
Penn State also went down this week too, though.
Yeah, which
was a good win.
But this is the thing. Oklahoma, I don't think we move up unless these teams lose. Yeah. And I know that Ohio State, Penn State play each other this week. I don't like. It was 8-7 that played at the end of the day. 12-3 played, but 12 beat 3. So I knew, but I had a feeling they was gonna move us back depending on this game. I don't agree with it, but it is what it is. Texas still top 10.
Yeah.
I bet if we lose, we go to like 14 or something crazy.
Yeah, they're gonna move you guys back in decent ways, right? Just because there's a lot of teams who are gonna play a lot tougher games you guys have to offer right now. If you lose just against a subpar team at this point in time that you shouldn't lose against, so you're gonna feel the effects of losing to a team that, especially after beating Texas, anybody else your schedule is subpar compared to them. Yeah. Right. So if you do lose, they're gonna let you know that you lost it, and they're gonna put you where you deserve to be. But I don't like when teams win big stuff and they still go back, like Penn State going back to Oklahoma going back. Like I don't understand. You take a bye week, you go back. Excuse me. I used to feel like back in the day, bye weeks were kind of safe. That they tried to avoid moving you. At some point in time, now they're like, nope, we're moving you immediately. We don't care if you win, lose, draw. You're moving if you're moving. They kind of want to.
I mean, we have a first place vote. I don't get why you moving us back. It's crazy. But I mean, another thing that stands out to me, I don't know if it stands out to you. Notre Dame jumps 6 spots after beating USC. I'm down for that. Actually, I mean, they smacked. It wasn't.
They didn't just beat USC. They beat USC, boy.
Yeah,
beat them like they stole something.
They smacked them boys. I ain't gonna sit here and hold you. But then again, we kind of figured that. I mean, the defense over there in California is not defense.
It's
you know
not
what I mean?
like, and I don't think USC beats, except maybe. Honestly, I don't see anybody else on this list because everybody who's above them has solid defenses.
What do you?
I mean, you can argue Washington and Oregon might, or Utah, but they're all Pac-12 teams. Everybody else, I think they all have decent enough defenses to hang with USC. So I like them at 18.
What do you think about North Carolina being out of the top 10? Or
I don't like it at all. And Oregon being in it,
they are top 10, but being behind 8 and 9. I feel like you have to credit the undefeated
teams. I think they start giving them more credit after this week, going into like week 8. Like I think that starts to play a little bit more factor because you're in conference play. They're taking into consideration the first few games that you go undefeated, where you're cupcakes usually.
Right.
So they want to wait till you get 1 or 2 conference games in, 3 conference games in, then you're giving them the respect that they deserve. And I think we'll see that. Had they win this week, this next game coming up, I think they jump either Oregon. Yeah, I think they jump Oregon if they get a good win this one because you kind of deserve it at that point in time. You can't keep them out. But Alabama, when they lose, I think Alabama's going to end up at like 24, 23 when
Who
they
do
lose
they
this week.
play? They play Virginia.
Who?
So,
North Carolina.
yeah,
So that's a good game. Get a win. Or who does Oregon play?
They don't play Florida State. They do play Duke though, and I
Yeah,
believe
they got Clemson and Florida State, and they already beat Clemson, right? So
no.
I mean Clemson and Duke, and they've already beat Clemson. Or was that Duke that beat Clemson?
Duke beat Clemson.
Okay, yeah. When is
But they got Washington. Oregon got Washington State, which ain't a bad team. I mean, they have lost the last 2 weeks in a row, but like that was your sleeper team.
It was. It still is.
Sleeper team.
It still is. They upset me this last weekend. Like you can't lose like that, man.
2 tough weeks at Oregon. Skip Cali, then you go USC, and then finish with Oregon State. Rivalry game. Don't be surprised if Oregon drop. I'm gonna say it now. Don't be surprised if Oregon drops Oregon State.
Yeah.
If they drop that game, that's what I mean. So, but I guess right now my top 5 would be Michigan 1, Florida State 2, Georgia 3. No, I'm gonna say Michigan 1, Florida State 2, Ohio State 3, Oklahoma 4, and Georgia 5. That's what I would say.
I'd put roughly the same. Michigan 1, Florida State 2, Oklahoma 3, Washington 4, Georgia 5.
Okay. So I mean, Ohio State they hadn't really played anybody since that Notre Dame game, but to go in South Bend, get the win like you do,
yeah,
it's pretty tough. Even though I thought they should have dropped that game, but I feel like it's kind of they get back for dropping that Georgia game last year.
Everybody's off a little bit. Sometimes you don't play your best when you should, and you see what happens. But at the end of the day, the goal is to go what? 1-0.
1-0. That's 1-0. And I am very excited for this Penn State game right here. This weekend.
When is this? When is Penn State versus Ohio?
Next week. This week.
Ooh, boy. Yeah. And that because we was arguing over College Game Day. Who do they go to? Bama, Tennessee, Ohio, them. Clearly Ohio Penn because that is top 10 teams. You got to go out there and see who whoops on who. Because that's huge for the Big Ten.
That's big. Where do they play at? I am curious to see where they play at.
If it's at Penn, they better white out.
They're in Ohio State. They're in Ohio State.
Okay. If it's at Penn, they got to go white out, man.
Yeah, you know when they go white out, it's
absolutely wild, man. I love seeing it.
Over with. But these stats right here, crazy. We'll get into that, but I was just looking at, Penn State's defense has been defensive. I'll say that.
Other than that, I don't have a lot of gripes about everybody else where they're at on this list. Ole Miss at 13. I don't like them ahead of us per se, but it is what it is.
You don't like Ole Miss ahead of y'all?
Not really, man. I think we still could beat Ole Miss. I think we can beat a lot of people if – I can't keep hitting Alabama. I can't keep giving if to Joe Milton. Joe, you got to do something, man. Like, you got to step up to the plate. You got to play just a little bit better. Like, you play 50% better than what you're doing now. Some of these games, Texas wouldn't even been as close. Receivers, you drop some of those passes we drop, it wouldn't even be as close. I think we deserve to be at 17 now. But if we beat Alabama.
I think y'all should go up to like 13.
I think we're like 12, 13. I think we're right outside the top 10 right there.
Yeah, right outside. And then
Alabama's 11. I think we beat them. I think you got to give us their spot at this point. 11 or 12, one of those two.
I mean, potentially, but you look at the loss. The loss for Ole Miss, they lose to a ranked Bama. Tennessee, they lose to an unranked Florida.
Where Florida's at now.
Where are they at now?
Florida's a 2-loss team. They're like 5-2. I mean, that's solid. They don't have them ranked now because they haven't beat anybody, but still, they're a 5-2 team. It's not like we lost to somebody who's a 2-win team like South Carolina. I mean,
y'all lost to an unranked team.
I mean, it's at the very beginning. They weren't ranked really to start at the beginning. No, they weren't ranked. They were ranked when they beat us. Florida was ranked. I think they ranked were they ranked 25 when they beat us?
I'm almost certain they wasn't.
I feel like they might have because they lost to Utah.
They lost to Utah. Yeah,
I don't know if they were ranked back then. I don't know if it shows ranked back then though.
I don't think it does.
Yeah, see, because they ranked Utah. It's not going to show what their rank was. Oh yeah, it wasn't. We were number 11 that week.
Yeah. Y'all are number 11, and they were.
So click on it, and it'll show what they were. But they're 5-win team now.
There was not ranked.
So they went okay after the loss to Utah, which wasn't a bad loss. It's the first game, jitters. They could have lost it like that, but I think Florida's a lot better team than we're giving them credit for. And I think they might mess around with Georgia. Georgia might FAFO this weekend. Next weekend when they play them. They got to bye, so you never know.
I don't know.
I mean, Georgia still got a tough stretch, and now without Brock Bowers, it's an even tougher stretch right here. They got to test. Time for them to prove their mettle.
Right? That's Georgia. My point was Ole Miss lost to a ranked team. Yeah. Y'all lost to an unranked team. So that's why Ole Miss is in front of y'all. But it is an argument to be made if y'all beat Bama, y'all beat the team that Ole Miss lost to.
Yeah.
Right?
Then it's a tiebreaker. We won that tiebreaker against them. Push us up. Go ahead and move us up there, big dog, to like 11, 12. And then it gets a little bit easier from the like if we beat Bama, I'm a lot more confident in the rest of the teams that we play. Yeah.
I mean, y'all are through 3 weeks, y'all hadn't made like the biggest progression. But it's where, we just hit that halfway stride of the season. So, I mean, you still got, you can clear out Bama. You can clear out Ole Miss. That'll give you 2 good wins on the season. Then we got Penn State, Ohio State. Of course, if whoever loses that game is not going back past y'all, even if y'all win, just how
it's just not big enough pushing back. But it's they'll go back a decent amount because they're hinging this on to see how good your team actually is. Like Penn State, Ohio State, one of these teams get smacked. Like you go out and lose bad, they'll definitely be back to like 14 at least.
I mean, literally everything is in front of y'all. Ole Miss, Alabama, Georgia. You win those games, top 5.
We don't play Ole Miss.
Oh, y'all don't?
Not this year.
I could have sworn.
No, we play Florida. We play Missouri, Kentucky, Georgia, UConn, Vandy. After it's Alabama. So that's fine.
So, Bama, Georgia, 2, 11, and number 1, potentially when you play them, potentially.
Missouri's still going to be ranked when we play them, hopefully. So we got a couple ranked teams still out there. It's up in the air for the taking. Like we still have, like you said, we got a lot ahead of us, and we still got an opportunity to make something shake. It's all a matter of are we going to take this opportunity? You only get one shot to not miss your chance. Okay, disregard. I think we can do it right here though. But that's my view of the top 25. I don't feel too bad about it at this point in time. Other than I don't like Oregon them and USC. I wish they'd have pushed them to like 20 and put Missouri ahead of them, to be honest. So, but I digress. You got anything else on this one?
No, that's it.
Nah, that's it, man. I loved it. I love to see it. I want to get this out here, go and get our views ready to go for this AP poll update and our recap of the weekend. It was a great weekend slate of games, man. If you made it this far in the video, go ahead and like, comment, subscribe, do something. Even if you watched 1 second of it, thank you for that. Y'all, like I said, y'all are doing it big on Facebook. We're up to like 200 plus followers and likes on there, so that's pretty good. Views are starting to get 1,000 plus clicks on, and I enjoy that. I mean, you're enjoying our content that we're putting out, and that's all that really matters. If we can put some of you guys like, then we kind of did our job, right? In the day. So
our predictions will be up Wednesday. I record tomorrow.
You gonna go live, baby? You gonna go live? You can go live Wednesday. Why not?
We can either record tomorrow or go live Wednesday. Either one. We'll figure it out.
You'll see it Wednesday one way or another. But if you made it here, maybe we can get you on a live, get some comments. Thank you for all the guys who commented on our last live, right?
Yes, sir. Yeah. Without further ado, this is Bros with Mics.
I'm Cody. Tom, Bros with Mics, and I'm out this thing, my boy. Peace.
Boomer.